What is up, guys? My name is Mark Santamaria. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the RC vlog, guys. Woo! It is amazing out here. Check this out. Oh, it's like beautiful blue skies, perfect sun. I think it's 66 degrees outside. It is like the perfect day for RC. I got my son's cars charging. Actually, they're done charging. I got me charging. I'm charging some batteries for the Revo, guys. I finished building one of my Revos, my $50 cheap Revo. Actually bought two Revos for $100, so I'm calling it $50. My $50 cheap Revo. I'm done. I got all the parts that I needed for my other Revo rebuilds. So this one's done. It turned out freaking awesome. So let's take a look. Look at that. Oh, it looks freaking, it's like, it looks new. So basically, I rebuilt and cleaned everything. I put it up to the spec that I would want my cars, which is, I'm really meticulous, so I want all my stuff to be perfect. I don't like any rust on them, nothing. This car turned out really, really good. You see that? It was actually a 2.5R. They put a 3.3 engine in it. So it is the shorter wheelbase, but you know, I don't think I've had one of the shorter wheelbase ones, so it's going to be fun to drive this thing. But check this out. Look how clean. I redid all the fuel line, everything. Looks freaking awesome. All new fuel line. I mean, this thing, it looks good. Looks real good. All right, so we're gonna start this thing up just like whenever I rebuilt that T-Max. We're gonna start up right here. No wheels, tires up on it or anything. It's just I'm just gonna fire it up. Not even gonna put a battery in it. This is the moment of truth. I don't know if the carb is all clogged up on this thing. I've completely flushed the fuel tank. Let me actually, I wrote down everything I did. So I replaced the push rods. The push rods had a little bit of rust on them. I replaced all the push rods, so all 8 of them. There's actually push rods and camber links. Replaced all those. I put a new servo in it, so it came with a dual servo thing. I did a single servo conversion. I put some cheap Hobby King servos in there. They're cheap, but they're high voltage. It was hard to find a Lifey pack that would actually fit in the battery compartment, so I knew I had to run LiPo. Plus, that's what I run anyways, is LiPo. So I went ahead and got high voltage servos. I don't remember the specs on it, but I have been running these particular high voltage servos, these Hobby King high voltage servos, in my other Revos. They're really good. The only caveat is they're a little loud, but I did that. It was missing this servo cover. Got one of those, replaced that, so that's all covered up. I mean, looks freaking great. Fuel lines. It was actually kind of interesting with the fuel lines. They actually had it hooked up incorrectly. They had the part that actually spits the fuel out, that feeds fuel into the engine, it was plugged into the exhaust. So I don't know if they did that. There would be no reason to do that. The only thing that I would know, and sometimes people do, is they would take the part that goes into the engine and plug it into the return line. That way no fuel gets out. So to me it looks like they actually tried to start it with the fuel lines incorrect. The fuel lines were old. I took all the fuel lines out. I put all brand new fuel lines on. I flushed the tank. Whenever I flush a tank, basically what I do is I fill it up with some either brake cleaner or rubbing alcohol, shake it up, kind of let it sit in there and dissolve all the excess oil and fuel that was in there. Cleans it all out, and then I spray it out, air it out, clean it all off. Looks like a brand new tank. I make sure the fittings and the part that shoots the fuel out, they're all cleaned out. So fuel tank is good. I was about to replace, typically on a really old car I would replace the gasket that goes under the fuel tank lid. I didn't do that. I don't think it needs it. I did a pressure check. It seemed fine. So cover plate, this thing right here, I took the Ford. I did a Ford only conversion. That was the other thing I did. I did a Ford only conversion. It had reverse on it when I bought it. I don't like reverse for multiple reasons. One, it has to be tuned absolutely perfect, and you need that OptiDrive. OptiDrive is kind of finicky when it comes to voltages. It was really weird. Whenever I tried to run it before, it works, but everything has to be perfect. I didn't even want to mess with it. I took the Ford out, the reverse out. So I did a Ford only conversion. Also, whenever you take that out, and I've said this before, you take out a whole bunch of gears. It actually decreases the rotating mass inside the transmission. So I think it runs better. I got this little cover plate here, so it covered up the OptiDrive. That seems like the part that gets lost pretty quick. The body posts. Remember, the body posts were chewed up by a dog. I ended up replacing the body posts, so they're good. Front bumper, all cleaned off, no rust on it. Replaced the screws on that. Let's see, drive shaft gasket. So I was going to replace the drive shaft gaskets right here, but I noticed that every single one of my other Revos, those drive shaft gaskets are broken also. They don't look bad. They're probably going to break anyway, so I didn't take them off to replace them. I rebuilt the clutch. And when I say rebuilt the clutch, took the clutch flywheel completely off. Obviously, this isn't the engine that came in it. This is an engine that I know runs well. I have to break in the engine that came with it because it looked like it was brand new. But I replaced the clutch and rebuilt everything. The bearings were, needless to say, a little rusted and didn't spin so well. So I replaced all those, cleaned the clutch shoes off. Clutch shoes seemed perfectly fine. Got all the rust. There was a little bit of rust. You could just tell because it was a little bit old on the clutch belt. Everything is perfectly cleaned off. Looks all brand new. And there's more things that I did, but I don't remember. I wrote, that's all the stuff that I wrote down. I put gaskets on here. Oh, I replaced the air filter. Put an air filter in there. Also, there was a cut in the, not a cut, but like a break in the actual air filter, the intake piece. This intake piece right here. God, I keep forgetting the names of stuff whenever I go live like this, or whenever I start recording. The intake, yeah, the air filter housing. There was a break in the tubing. I ended up replacing that, so there's no break there. Shocks are perfectly fine. There's no bent shafts. It's ready to go. So that's pretty much everything I did. I'm trying to think of anything else I did. All right, here we go. So this is the moment of truth. The part that scares me the most is whenever I rewired all the wires also. The wiring was all jacked up from the Easy Start. Rewired everything. The wires, by the way, look like he just replaced them because they were like brand freaking new. The wiring harness. I'm running 20% VP fuel. I run for VP fuel, so I run VP fuel everything. I have some 20% left. It's got good shelf life. I'm not too concerned about it, but that's what I'm running. So the moment of truth, the biggest thing that scares me is whenever I spin this. I know the engine will spin, but when I spin this, if it actually sucks the fuel into the carb. So here we go. Uh-oh. I see fuel trying to go in. It's probably because I need to open the carb. I need more hands. Alright, we're going to do the trick that I did before. We're just going to blow fuel in it. So basically I'm taking the return line out of the exhaust. This is a clean piece of fuel I keep on my desk, and I'm just going to blow in there. The key here is whenever you're done blowing, you open the tank. Don't just stop blowing because it will shoot fuel in your mouth. So here we go. Alright, fuel in there. Fuel in the carb. Alright. There is fuel in the carb. Alright, we're gonna start it up with a glow plug igniter. I'm not gonna let it run too long. I just want to see if it fires up. I use a glow plug igniter because sometimes, actually not sometimes, I have a LiPo conversion in this Easy Start. When you do a LiPo conversion, I don't know if it's volts or something, but it doesn't ignite the glow plug enough. I like using a glow plug igniter anyways. I've done it in my T-Max also whenever I sold that thing. So I use a glow plug igniter and then I just use this to spin the engine. So here we go. Whoa, it's spewing. Here it runs, guys. I didn't think of that one very well. The exhaust is shooting straight down. Here's the exhaust right here. You want to see how much smoke? The reason why there was so much smoke and it took so long to start is I put a lot of WD-40 in there. It will still start with WD-40 in there, but it will smoke up a little bit when you start it. I'll start it again because that was exciting. Ready? Whoa! Actually runs pretty good. Ooh, it runs. All right, so now I just have to put the body on it, put some tires on it. Everything seems like it runs good. Put it bottom dead center here. Freaking awesome. I am so ready to get this. That noise. That's my receiver pack. It's done. Dude, it's like this guy closed his eyes when he cut this body out, or he didn't have a Dremel. So I got to do some dremeling to this body to get these lines a little bit cleaner. But I'm gonna run this thing. So not gonna run this video though, guys. You're gonna see it in the next video. We're gonna take this out. I'm actually gonna load my son's cars up. We're gonna go bashing. Take these cars out bashing and see how it goes. So if you like this video, guys, smash that like button, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to my channel, and you guys will see me next time. Later, guys.